Question: what do you think Iraq's time to allow international to exchange our notes? That's their prerogative. Normally when something like this happens, the IMF works with that central bank of that country and they figure out a time frame. It can be 3 months, 6 months. It can be a year. The United States of America never cancelled our 3-0 notes. America never stopped allowing 3-0 notes to be exchanged, but I got a feeling Iraq will, and they should. We should have a great weekend. We'll see what happens. Al Nusayri explains the new mechanism for external transfers after the platform is closed. We have been following this and we have been spot on. They finally have done what was expected. This is to get the central bank back to normalcy, with international standards. That is a fact. A very good thing to have had correct all along, in our study of the Iraqi dinar. We know that al-Sudani is going to be talking to Trump real quick here. Last time Trump was in office, they didn't make any changes, and what ended up happening was they had to devalue the dinar before the country went bankrupt. So this time around they might jump ahead of this and devalue the dinar ahead of time, so that the impact is not that hard against the Iraqi people and against Iraq if crude oil prices go down. Two of Iraq's most ambitious infrastructure projects, the Central Bank Tower in Baghdad and the Grand Al-Faw port in Basra, have been recognized as some of the most significant mega-projects in the world for 2025. The projects ranked 11th and 10th by the renowned British platform the B1M. These achievements reflect not only Iraq's commitment to modernization but also its ambition to reclaim its place on the global stage as a hub for economic and cultural progress. I have talked to a couple Iraqi sources and they still believe this is it. They have contractors that they are in contact with that are suddenly being called in. I have one who will not tell me what the renegotiated rate is on their contracts. One of them mentioned $3.91, but I do not know for certain if that is really it. It's from a contact I don't know really well. British platform includes the Central Bank Tower and Al-Faw port in the list of giant projects in the world for the year 2025. Iraq's 25 budget still in the works, with the government expected to send the budget tables to the council representatives in early February. The rate needs to change before that, guys. That's why I've been telling you you're in red-hot January. January is a critical month to our investment. You're going to see the new exchange rate before you see the budget. I understand the need for diplomacy, but Iraq needs to step back from Iran politically. Al-Sudani needs to be careful. Trump is going to come down hard on Iran, and I hope Iraq doesn't get in the way. I understand your view. We report what is in reality, and happening during a global event too. Like it or not, Iraq and Iran are linked. My bet is Iran is capitulating for a very big reason. The news is the news. We watch what happens and report it. No fear for the regime in Iraq as long as America and the religious authority are satisfied. The government is heading towards independence. Iraq must gain their independence not just on paper but in practical terms. Now that the Chapter 7 sanctions are released for over 2 years already, it is time. The next stage is full sovereignty promised to the Iraqi people during the second invasion in 2003. Yes, they still are not a free country until they get back their currency, which means to control their own wealth. Also, I want to mention, the CBI reserves are in the bank in New York, JP Morgan/Chase DFI fund amounting to over $120 billion. And so Iraq will also have to recover these funds too. The UN already decreed these funds should be returned to Iraq. We are watching this closely. Question, just thinking out loud here, is it possible to get the RIA unsat and get paid on the 21st? Marks, it is absolutely possible. Similar to how Kuwait did theirs. In a nutshell, Kuwait got a RIA, real effective exchange rate, and within 10 days we started exchanging. The auctions have metamorphosed. They have evolved, they have progressed to what is now called international foreign currency transfers, and it's being done by private banks. You think the currency auctions that once existed that Iran was taking advantage of are still active? You're wrong. You're ignorant. Transfers, no longer auctions. This is not taking a currency and converting it into any other currency. This is moving a currency in and out of the country they could never do before. Don't you understand the value of that? Don't you understand how important that is for the monetary reform? Ain't got nothing to do with the CBI. It has to do with the private banks exchanging between each other and across the borders. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani inaugurated, on Thursday, the Unified Emergency Number 911, which includes all emergency numbers in Iraq, stressing that this project enhances rapid response to emergencies. The media office of al-Sudani said in a statement received by Shafaq news agency, Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani inaugurated the Unified Emergency Number Project, 911, in the Central Response and Control Directorate affiliated with the Ministry of Interior, and directed an appeal to all formations, during which he stressed the importance of this project, which represents one of the goals of the government's vision in developing the security and service infrastructure. Al-Sudani added, according to the statement, that the project enhances the ability to respond quickly to emergencies, and achieves effective communication with the citizen around the clock, 24 hours a day, in reporting emergency and suspicious cases. He explained that the number, 911, is not just a hotline, but rather the backbone of the emergency response system, and it has been adopted to be a unified reference in order to unify the efforts of all the joints and formations of the Ministry of Interior, and the rest of the service and security ministries, in a way that ensures improved performance, increased security, and consolidates the citizens' confidence in the security institutions. It is noteworthy that the Directorate of Rapid Response and Central Control /911 was established in the Ministry of Interior by National Security Council Resolution No. 1 of 2024, with the aim of unifying all 26 emergency numbers into one number, 911, with the aim of ensuring rapid response to accidents and emergencies, such as traffic accidents, fires and crimes, in addition to receiving security information, complaints and inquiries and referring them to the competent authorities, and establishing 51 sub-response stations throughout Iraq, with specialized cadres fluent in several languages used in Iraq. Member of the Popular Legal Movement, Ahmed Shahid al-Shamari, called today, Thursday, for reducing the salaries of the three presidencies, representatives, ministers, officials and those with special grades. Al-Shamari said in a statement to Al-Maluma agency, the salaries of officials burden the general budget of the Iraqi state, indicating that it is not permissible to grant retirement salaries to people who are not permanent employees. He added, reducing the salaries of the representatives